Challengers and poll watchers. They have to wear a mask and they have to stay 6 feet. That's important because they can come behind your table. But if you don't have 6 feet, they can't come back there. Any questions?
So they're 6 feet back once they have really good vision. They can actually see.
Exactly. Unless they got really good vision or they brought their binoculars. 6 feet. That's the rule, right? And you are entitled to your 6 feet.
Is that common? I mean, can we expect that?
Yep, there's a coming. They're coming. I don't know if they're coming to every precinct, but they're coming to many of them in the city. Yes, we have already gotten word. The state has already said they're coming. And the basic thing they're going to challenge is what? Absentee ballot. That is correct. Yes.
What if they're like challenging and they start yelling and kind of making a scene?
911. They got standards. They got conduct standards.
Okay.
They make a scene, get them up out of there. Or the police are.
On behalf of the plaintiff, what is it you would wish to say to the court?
At this point, Your Honor, I am very happy to report that the parties and the attorneys have been working very diligently this morning to try to reach a resolution, and I'm happy to report that we have.
I'm delighted to hear what it is.
I will read what my understanding of the substantive agreement is. There is, as indicated in the complaint, a written directive issued on October 16th, 2020 from defendants indicating the following. Challengers, poll watchers. While challengers and poll watchers have their rights and responsibilities established under law, election workers can strictly enforce requirements that they observe proper social distancing. Challengers and poll watchers are subject to the requirement in MDDHS order to use face coverings in enclosed places, unless exempt due to health reasons. Defendants will, as soon as possible, but no later than tomorrow, October 29th at 5 p.m., issue amended written guidance or a directive to clerks or local election officials saying something substantially as follows. Challengers, poll watchers. Challengers and poll watchers have certain rights and responsibilities established by Michigan election law. Challengers and poll watchers are required to wear masks that cover the nose and mouth to the extent medically able to do so consistent with the MDHHS order, and maintain social distancing when not performing their legal duties. Challengers and poll watchers should maintain at least 6 feet of distance between themselves and election workers and voters as reasonably possible. However, to the extent that it is necessary to temporarily stand in closer proximity to election workers, to have a challenge heard, to observe the poll book, or perform any other legal duty, challengers and poll watchers are permitted to do so, provided close personal interaction is as brief as possible. Once a challenge or necessary observation is complete, challengers and poll watchers should resume remaining 6 feet away from voters and poll workers. The parties would, following this hearing, also enter into a written agreement to that effect, incorporating the exact language as I just substantively outlined. That would be our resolution, Your Honor, that I think at this late hour encompasses everyone's interests.
On behalf of the defendants, would you concur that your colleague has accurately stated the terms of the proposed resolution?
Only to clarify, Your Honor, that we're not committing to the language, but in the substance of it. So there's going to, we were working in about 15 minutes before this hearing. So haste doesn't usually lead to the most clear instructions. So there may be some further refinement. There will be some further refinement, but fundamentally, substantively, that is essentially what Director Brader said in the email we attached in our response. So there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay, so for my purposes, the key aspects of this agreement are that while challengers are to be masked unless medically unable to do so, and to distance at 6 feet when not performing their tasks, they are permitted to approach poll workers in order to effectuate their work doing so as briefly and efficiently as possible. That's generally what I think I've heard you say.
That is, in general terms, my understanding as well, Your Honor.
That is
All right.
correct on behalf of plaintiffs, Your Honor.
Well, thank you very much for working to resolve this amongst yourselves in the interest of the people of the state of Michigan. I will entertain then a motion, I should receive an order which would resolve this case. In a perfect world, I'd get it by tomorrow. However, I am more concerned that you get the directive out and amend the frequently asked questions for the election workers than I am about this court's docket. So if I at least get this matter resolved by order by election day, I'm happy. Thank you very much.
Understood. Thank you very much for your time this morning, Your Honor.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, when you're choosing Michigan's next Attorney General, ask yourself this. Who can you trust most not to show you their penis in a professional setting? Is it the candidate who doesn't have a penis? I'd say so.
You may never have heard of Dana Nessel. She's the highly partisan, not especially bright Attorney General of the state of Michigan. Nessel ran for office 2 years ago with an ad, we're not making this up, bragging that she, quote, doesn't have a penis. That's the kind of person she is. She's divisive, she's a buffoon. Unfortunately, Dana Nessel has power now, and she's set about abusing it in the most un-American possible ways. Michigan cities are some of the most violent places in the Western Hemisphere. As the state's chief law enforcement officer, you'd think Dana Nessel might work on that. But no, she spent her time trying to shut down Catholic charities for being pro-life. One of her cases against the church was so transparently unconstitutional that a federal judge accused Nessel of committing, quote, a targeted attack on a sincerely held religious belief. Then, when citizens in Michigan protested their governor's absurdly partisan COVID lockdowns, abortion clinics and her husband were exempt from them, everyone else had to stay at home, Dana Nessel dismissed those complaints as, quote, white folks outraged because they can't go golfing, and so on. Dana Nessel may be the worst attorney general in the country, and there's stiff competition in that category. So it was just a matter of time before Dana Nessel tried to invalidate the First Amendment. Now she is doing that. Nessel is threatening to imprison the editors of the conservative news organization Big League Politics for the crime of reporting the news. That site has posted audio recordings of poll workers in Michigan. Nessel claims their report is, quote, misleading. That's a crime now in Michigan, apparently. And just in case that wasn't clear, Nessel warned Big League Politics that, quote, failure to comply will result in criminal prosecution. So if you disagree with Dana Nessel, you will go to jail. That's the new third world standard in Michigan. What's interesting is that other news organizations have said virtually nothing about this. CNN isn't complaining about it, neither is the Washington Post or the New York Times. They love authoritarianism as long as their team is benefiting from it. We don't like it, no matter who's in charge. Maybe Dana Nessel should fight someone her own size. Instead of terrorizing an independent website, why doesn't Dana Nessel try that with us? Go ahead, Dana Nessel. See how that goes. Good luck. not especially bright. She's a buffoon. Maybe the worst attorney general in the country.
All right, so everyone go back to your search bar of this precinct, type in this last name, Allen, A-L-L-E-N, comma, D-E-R, and stop. What do you see? Two.
Same birthday.
You're seeing doubles with the same, so it's 7:45 and you're seeing doubles. You're seeing two, that happens, right? People have the same date of birth. But you have to look for the subtle differences. So what are some of the differences? Yes.
2 hours.
One has 2 hours. Somebody has a middle name. So these are questions you can ask, right? If you click on them, they both have different addresses. Yes.
So before we call up chairperson, should we check and make sure it's not Alan Thomas there?
Yes, you're gonna verify him, yes. Before you call anybody, you're gonna verify that you have the right person, yes.
You're basically trusting your chairperson at the receiving board. And I have trust issues. So pull on this box because you'll be saving your money. Last elections, a guy actually came armful of ballots and his box and his folders. And she's like, your people in your precinct let you leave like that. You know, nobody is getting paid. You have an arm full of ballots. So you just sat here for 15 hours for absolutely nothing.